Happy holidays, WWA Nation. My name is Evan. You guys already know who I am. I'm the greatest looking, the most fits, the undefeated announcer here for the WWA. But we're not here to talk about me right now. We're here to talk about the first half of season 4 today. And we have both commentators. I guess I should introduce him. I made a special little scene in the Bry box, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado.
Hey, Evan, can you send Anthony down here? The bucket's getting kind of full in this box.
Are you in a box?
I'm in here. They just told me to get in here, and it's fine. Normally I'm good at sitting in box, and I like boxes, but we just did have Thanksgiving dinner yesterday, and that bucket is getting full.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving though, Bry? I'm in a good mood today, so I plan to keep it in a good mood. But did you have a good thing?
Thanksgiving was great. Spent it with the Haddock fam. You know, it was great. And then grandfather Bry kidnapped baby Bry, and they went off to see the patriarch Bry. That's a lot of Brys, isn't it?
I'm this close to turning the picture back on, but I'm not going to do it today. Listen, it sounds like you were busy. I was really busy. You know, I know CEO's busy. He's letting everyone have the holidays off, but no one is busier than Kaz's boss himself. Kaz, how you doing?
Oh, that's cute.
Yes,
that's really cute of you.
Your boss is pretty busy, right?
How did you even get a GIF of Santa flossing? I don't.
Is it Christmas.com? You just got to look over to the right. I think one of your elves did it.
I can assure you, we don't have GIF packages for sale.
I think it's a GIF like the peanut butter.
No, it's GIF like the peanut butter. Now it's Guardians of the Galaxy too.
It's been very busy up here. Yes. It's always busy year round.
Yes. Well, I mean, you're kind of taking up my spotlight, Santa, so I'll move you down just a little bit here. But happy holidays to you. I know Bry loves a week off any chance he can get. I mean, him doing something is, my God, it makes miracles. And Kaz, obviously, thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. Again, I know you and the boss man are very busy checking that list twice. But we're here to talk about the first half of season 4 of the WWA. There has been, in all the 4 seasons of the WWA, arguably the busiest, the most intense time. Again, subject of opinion, of course. Kaz, you've been around here. You know, you've had your friends. Giovanni Romano's been around here. Bry, you've definitely kind of been a historian of the WWA from time to time. What do you got to say so far for the first half of season 4? We'll start with the man from the North Pole.
I got to say that what stands out probably the most since WorldZY Mania 3 are the rookies this year.
Yeah.
The rookies this year have been, bar none, probably the tops we've ever seen. And that's saying something, given as, you know, the season 2/3 rookies made up of Giovanni Romano, Nino, Ronin, Suku. But this crop, I mean, one of the rookies is already world champion, essentially.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that later on. Still which again, by the way, that is a brand new card, !SL Black Friday deal, 25% off using promo code thank you. Not 2 words, all 1 word. And that goes all the way through Monday the 28th. Bry, what are you thinking so far about the first half of season 4?
I'm really liking it in the sense of that there's more like interaction, right? We're seeing more, like, I want to say since I've been here for the last 2 years, it was like we're not just getting like maybe 2 or 3 promos every 2 or 3 days. Now it's at some points the highest it gets to is like a promo every 3 or 4 hours. That's not exaggeration. People are more active. We're seeing it's allowing for there to be like more potentials for storylines going forward, right? We've got, you know, kind of stemming from like with the explosion of the rookies and CWL deciding to close up shop, right? Ending that EFED. Like now we've got some of the best coming over, and now it's going with the best of our best. Right now there is that interaction. There is that, you know, storylines only move if there's kind of more interest in it, both as a spectator and people involved.
No, I agree. I definitely think, you know, obviously I'm not the CEO. I am just the announcer man. I get all the time what we look like, but we are not. But I do have the insights. And man, there's people that send promos more than they ever have. And it's actually the point that we are, again, we've never done this, but we've actually had to go back to have people revise promos. Hey, listen, that was a good promo, but you were off by like 5 minutes. Let's hone it in
Right.
at this range. Let's do here. And the fact that we as a company or an association is able to do that, to have people very eager to do promos, is something that the WWA since season one has always dreamed of. So I think that is super cool, super neat. Yeah, like you said, I think there's text promos at least once a day, at least, and that's from different people. It,
Yeah.
the interaction, the creativity that people have had thus far has been phenomenal, but definitely the story of season four is without a doubt the rookies. And again, you guys can see all the footage back. We're gonna have videos throughout uploaded. But my God, Gamer Domain and the Unknown that just took place last week
Whew.
was masterclass.
Beautifully done.
Not to mention the diamonds that are coming in here and stealing the show just recently.
Yeah,
Consider them rookies, but man, they are going ham.
it's it's crazy because the WWA, we had an incident in season one where we didn't think that door was forever was going to be closed. We didn't think it'd open again, and here we are. It's all about giving a shot, giving a chance, and we made the most of it. I mean, look what happened with Behind Enemy Lines, and we brought people together for the E-Feds. Same thing now with the ZY Grand Prix. We're bringing in people that we've never seen before, different E-Feds coming together. Honestly, this is one of my favorite times that we have seen, but I really feel like momentum has never been higher in terms of what the WWA is about.
Agreed, 100%.
Um,
And
yeah, go away, Bray.
oh, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, like, it's 100%. Like, once with other E-Feds, like, people coming over from CWL coming, as diamonds in the Grand Prix, like, it's very exciting. And to kind of make a comparison to, like, the outside promotions, AEW, WWE, I like, like, from a money making position, it's smart to just kind of split that out, right? To allow that, it's no longer who would beat who in a Hell in a Cell or a cage match, right? Well, you can't put these two guys together. They're from two different feds.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's those crossover events I really like.
Kaz?
It's pretty similar, my feelings. Just seeing all these different people coming in and grouping together and using the WWA as kind of an anchor point to come in and come out. We are the biggest E-Fed on Twitch, so it's nice to see other people using the WWA bring up everybody else. Kind of wish that could have happened in season one.
Yeah.
We could have had a lot of different things happen over the course of the years, but we're getting to that point now, and it's cool to see.
Yeah. It is what it is. I'm very excited about it. We took a shot at the beginning, and that really was set the tone. I feel like for the whole season, especially with the rookies coming in, taking interest in what we're about. But I mean that crossover pay per view was very huge for us, and it was very successful on all fronts. And again, whatever what happened with the CWL was extremely unfortunate. Definitely nobody did see it coming. But it was still super cool to see everybody enjoy themselves. But even more so, I was curious how after Behind Enemy Lines, what was going to be next. I knew what was going to be next because I have insight, but what everyone else felt like was going to be next. And that's where I really feel like why I said momentum has never been higher, because it's just been everyone's been taking stories and elevating it more than like we give people just the best creative utensils, the best pieces of paper to work with. It's up to you guys to write that story. We're able to help you, but it's up to you at the end of the day to put that together. And my God, what we are seeing so far, it's a crazy because last year I was at the point where I was wanting to break down. And now it's to the point where while I'm taking a break, I'm ready to come back next week already. And I just think it's never been more of a thriving time here in the WWA, Bry.
Definitely. Like, it's it's one of those things, like, even like to say, like, with Evan has offered, like, anytime you guys need to take a break, you guys are more than welcome to. And I mean, it's a lot of fun to come back though, like Evan is saying. Like, I can understand as most handsome guy for now in the WWA until Cash shows up on camera.
Number one.
Yeah, for now. But like, time is. I've only ever had to be away from the WWA like a handful of times, but there's never a moment where like, nah, I can't do it. It's just way too much fun to be here.
Mr. Cass, up north.
You know, coming into the WWA, it's been a lot of fun, and a lot of people. I was very scared that we were going to get a giant influx of people after behind enemy lines that just weren't going to be up to snuff.
Yeah.
I thought we were just going to get a bunch of people who are going to be asking about, where's my character? Why isn't my character winning? This, that, and the other. And they have so far proven me wrong 100% of the time.
Oh yeah.
And that's been great to see. I've loved every second of it. I mean, Anthony was our fan favorite for a long time, and I guess that was a shot at you. People loved him.
They really did.
That's until they saw Tug Mukow. And now Tug Mukow is probably one of the biggest things in the WWA. You got to get some merch with that man. You got to get some Tug Mukow merch going.
I mean, you think a shirt's too basic though? I'm thinking like get a mask, get like a giant centaur mask. I mean, that'd be pretty.
That would be. First,
you figure that out.
Yeah.
But
you're saying, Cass?
Like I was saying, but they proved me wrong 100% of the time. It's been great to see, and I can't wait to see more.
Yeah.
Especially with all these new rookies coming in. It's about to be a blast heading to WorldZY Mania and Season 5.
Crazy to think that we are turning the corner to WorldZY Mania 4. It's feel like I blinked, but to transition that with the start, I want to give some props here because this has been up until like right after Behind Enemy Lines, there was a little debacle. No need to worry about it. But I need to give props to two people who are talking about detail-oriented, interactive as you know what, and they are on time every time. And I'm talking about Michelangelo Coop and Mr. Purple himself. You talk about the definition of a professional, the definition of a GM, a general manager of a brand. They grabbed that by the balls and they have just ran with it. Kaz and Bri, listen, everyone else has done a great job, and I'm not discrediting what they have done prior, but I've never seen such two GMs who have taken such an interest and continue to not only work with their talent, grow, help build stories, and are excited to create matches.
I'll start it off. Like we said, I don't want to discount anything that former GMs have done. We love OG, we love Shelby, we love Chad. All fantastic GMs, but it just feels like things have hit a different level.
Yeah.
Coming into this new season. And I guess a lot of it comes down to, what Mr. Purple and Mr. Michelangelo have been able to do behind the scenes.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. And it's that the thing about, like, to kind of echo what Chaz is saying about a different level, like there's high stakes, and then you just add that. I want to say there's definitely more drama as far as building these storylines and the depth and dynamic of it. This isn't just for for pride or for a title, right? Anymore. This is the stakes feel like this is, the feeling is like life or death in some of these cases. Not that it's a death match of any kind of thing, just like this is more than just pride. This is more than just pride on the line. This is the world to them in a single promo. And
it's not a death match kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Bri. You are really enjoying your Bri week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Scooter hooked me up real nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks for poisoning me, by the way. That week was great. Mr. Perp, the CEO, and Mr. Coop all sent over a nice gift bag. No bedpans.
Moving on, though.
It was
No.
your fault. You poisoned him.
We're moving on. Moving on. And again, to segue into that real quick, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Um, Even a little extra flowers, if you can give one or two roses more to Mr. Perp, because he came in during the debacle. He came in with someone else's show, someone else's roster, and with people have already had storylines in the fold. Like literally, we just gave him the book and said, "Here's X, here's Y, here's Z, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go from it." Now he's had great help, but for someone who something that wasn't his show to begin with and make it his show in a very short time, I feel like he deserves just a little bit extra love there.
Just one more.
Indeed.
Two more flowers.
But the GMs, though, not only in charge of the weekly shows, not only are they in charge of help booking in terms of tournaments that we'll talk about here in just a little bit, but they are also in charge of pay-per-views and storytelling. Pay-per-view thus far in terms of the first half, I'd like to say, of season 4. I'm gonna go one by one with you guys here. I'll start off with Bry. But man, everybody says from all the pay-per-views we have done, the Clash, Legacy, Bound by Blood, Behind Enemy Lines, Warzone. Apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves Legacy, and I am not discrediting Legacy. It was a great pay-per-view, and maybe I'm just on the high from the recent one because I really feel like we're talking about momentum and leveling up. I felt like Bound by Blood really was. It was everything that I've wanted a pay-per-view to be. Bry, so far in terms of all the pay-per-view / mini pay-per-view, if you had to pick one that's really just been the standout, let's say you.
Oh, I feel like I might be a little too close to the fire on this one, given that
Earn.
pull back the curtain. Man, I gotta say probably Legacy is. I'm with the people because that was high. That was like, oh hey, you said the stakes were high. Yeah, let's put this up to a 12. And yeah, and I say I'm kind of close to this one mostly because
You have
my
someone from
alter ego,
Hawaii, yeah.
yeah, someone from Hawaii who's grew up in the same neighborhood kind of thing where he has that huge hell of a defense, right? Got cleaned out and somehow managed to hang on to it for another month after that. And
Yeah,
then
the Sue and Ronan match with that forearm shot was unbelievable. Bryonius was
Brian Isis.
whatever the hell you are. Kaz, let's say you, although I'm pretty sure I know your answer.
You'd be surprised by my answer. It's the Clash of the Champions mini pay-per-view.
Really? Okay.
I am.
I love the Clash. The men's golden ladder match was so much fun.
Yeah.
Garthy and Michael Grid was a blast.
Mhm.
Ronan and OG was awesome. Okada Nino, fantastic. Nina Rose Maria, fantastic. Just up and down, I love that card.
I love the mini pay-per-views. I love our Clash. I always think it's a big twist and turn. Definitely the
It's just
upset in
so much
Atlanta.
fun.
Yeah, the upset in Atlanta was a huge deal. We talked about season 1 stuff. Addison Jones had a big incident where he had to do double duty with he was like a tag champ and a heavyweight champion, and it was like the night in Seattle. That's what he'd always referred to, the night in Seattle. We don't talk about Seattle. And there was the upset in Atlanta for Almighty Smooth that day. But, if you guys are following along, maybe things change. Again, check that out there. But yeah, it definitely was a big moment. I loved Clash, and it was a twist. I thought you were going Legacy, Kaz. I thought you were.
Legacy was fantastic, but I have especially the Garthy Michael Grid match. I enjoyed that match so much. It was really good for the year. But I also have a special spot in my heart for Behind Enemy Lines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
such a good pay-per-view in and of itself.
it was.
It was a good
Really good.
pay-per-view. It was a risky pay-per-view though. That was a lot on the line there. So I'm really excited that it played out as it did. I'm more excited that you guys, the WWE Nation, were very mature about this. Again, season 1, although it was not our fault, we had a huge problem on the other end. So I was very nervous going into that. I was very excited, but if there was one person I knew that we could legitimately do a pay-per-view EFED versus EFED style, the way that how we do a show and how they do a show at the time, it was the right. Although again, still a very nerve-wracking pay-per-view to say the least, though. But all been very good. Again, it may be the most recent one that I'm still on the high from, but I think from being behind the scenes in terms of the pay-per-view, how the show was laid out from start to finish, everything, the story, the unexpected cash in, I really think Bound by Blood thus far was my favorite one. And even with production value, like I am very much, as we know, a production guy. I love the glitz and glam. It's the small things that matter to a pay-per-view.
Mhm.
And shout out to PP Productions, by the way, made the Briley is I guess was what we're going with. But they really stepped up to make that feel so much better. And we're even doing something cool too with announcer boxes very soon. So stay tuned about that. Perhaps it's going to be done at Last Survivor, but I don't know yet. But I don't know. That was very cool. Very cool to see.
I mean,
That
I
it
don't know
was.
how we're gonna do that. The North Pole, Hawaii, Evansville. It'd be kind of rough to get us all into a box together. I don't.
I mean,
Yeah, you see
I
the
probably
size of
hit
this man's arms?
I probably hit Brian. I don't like him. But I'm in a great mood today. Let's not talk about violence, although that's what wrestling can be. Anyways, um, yeah, pay-per-views, but let's talk about current day stuff here right now. We can talk about we'll talk about the tournament just a little bit, but overall stories, we have Lethal Wire that cashed in, and not only did Lethal Wire cashed in, he aligns himself with Marcus Kane, which definitely didn't see it coming in the beginning, but I really feel like those two can gel well together, Kaz.
Indeed, we saw when Lethal first came into or come into the WWA, siding with Rose Wolf and a few others, and it just didn't seem to work. He didn't seem to gel well when he first came in.
R.I.P. the pledge.
R.I.P. the Pledge. And
Yep.
then he ends up siding with Geo, and it helped a little bit in the beginning, getting the just kicks out of the equation, trying to switch up his move set, trying to switch up his attitude about how he goes about things. But now he's aligned himself with Marcus Kane, who has clearly shown bad intentions in the WWA. And now Marcus Kane is sitting behind the breakout heavyweight champion. It can't lead to anything good.
Definitely cannot.
Bri, this is your show. We're talking about breakouts, so you're a little closer than North Pole. Let's hear it from you. What do you think about this whole Lethal Wire, Marcus Kane, but especially what happened with Nino?
Hmm. I think with Lethal Wire and Marcus Kane, they have, well, to put it very bluntly, have fucked with the wrong giant in that.
You only get one
In
of those, by the way. It's a holiday. You only get
oh,
one.
wait, it's a holiday. I don't get two.
Get one.
Fine. How about a half? Can I just say?
Just go.
Okay. But like now, Reds at some point, Lethal Wire is going to have to fight a two front war because he's got Nino coming in front of him, and can he fully trust Marcus Kane? I mean, this man helped steal that title defense.
Yeah.
And if we look back to season 3, that great portrayal between, and he just left. Oh, what happened?
I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, let's say. As it goes, We watched Suku steal a title and then hand it off to Ronin, and Ronin snapped and and ambushed Suku. Marcus Kane is a little more involved in this one. What's going to happen to Lethal when Marcus starts to decide, you know what's really good, would really look good around my waist?
You talk about those rookies though too. They're hungry. They're hungry for war. They're hungry for gold. More importantly, and well, I think they are a good gel. I had time to digest it. I think Marcus Kane originally was going to be a front runner, but then you have AR Legend, and then even more so Gamer Domain, who was just. I mean, the amount of DMs I got about how over Gamer Domain is unlike anything I have seen in some time. It's crazy. But Marcus Kane originally to me, I thought he was going to be the guy, and I think Marcus Kane realizes that hey, listen, I got to find something. I gotta stand out from these guys, and that was the big thing about these rookies. There is a plethora of rookies from men, women to centaur that you have to break your own ceiling, that glass ceiling, to get to stand out, to break out, no pun intended. And Marcus Kane did it with, that shot. But I will agree with Brian for like the second or third time ever this year. A time is going to come where Lethal Wire has to answer the call. He's going to have to stand up. And I said the same thing with Kaz. I said, I don't think Lethal Wire has what it takes to beat Nino. Maybe in a little bit, yes. But Lethal Wire did beat Nino in terms of the psychological warfare. Nino didn't see it coming. This is what's going to happen, but you're messing with the angel of death, and
I
yeah.
will have to throw in there that they're not only staring at the angel of death. There's a giant man that stands behind Nino as one of his best friends on Breakout, who happens to also be in that ZY tournament, and that's the Unknown.
Jesus. Yeah.
We know the Unknown is willing to fly off the handle for people that he's come to respect. I think Marcus Kane and Lethal Wire need to watch out for not only the King of Crows, but the man known as the Unknown.
Man, speaking of which, it's crazy because the Unknown was part of that trade. He used to be on Havoc. What's funny though is let's talk about a little bit of the blue and silver Havoc. Man, it has been nonstop from the get-go over there. I feel like season 3 they were getting a little rowdy, but even before then, I made a comment that season 3 of Havoc was lacking. It was soft. It was arguably without a doubt Breakout was the A show. In terms of what they were promoting, because the Grand Prix, for those that do not know, was just a Breakout thing. It was not a part of Havoc. Havoc didn't want anything to do with it. And now here we are. Michelangelo said, no, this is going to be our show now. And again, it's a matter of opinion at this point, who's delivering the better products. And I think right now, Havoc is bringing not only stories, but the intensity. Like they're killing each other over there. But
pretty much.
Man, you talk about Kaz is taking a little nod to AEW, and I'll do the same thing. The devil got what he wanted, and that was the Havoc Heavyweight Champion, Suku.
Yeah.
He did what he did, but man, there is someone who is, I said, just hot, heated. He's angry. Giovanni Romano, although he's got to overcome this big Grand Prix, I think Sue is starting to worry the wrath that Giovanni Romano has. Kaz, I'll go with you since this is your show.
Mm-hmm.
We know how Gio feels about Havoc. He was first pick pretty much twice to be on that show. He stepped to bat for Havoc in the second Warzone, right?
Yes.
I think the first one was Mayhem and Breakout. But Gio steps to bat for that company every single time. He loves Havoc. And now he's been messed with by the champion. He's going to charge at him head first with everything he's got. And it's kind of scary to look at. I mean, the way he's been performing in the ring, he's not doing the cheap shots anymore. He's playing it straight, and he's gunning for somebody. I don't think it's going to turn out pretty.
I think there was a weird turn when Gio he started off, I'll say he started off having a soft run in season 3. He was trying to figure it out. But I think something really changed. You talked about your favorite pay-per-view was the mini clash, Kaz. Gio lost, and Gio legitimately thought, hey, I had this. So you come back from a bad mood, then you go take out Zistro Horror. Again, another outstanding rookie here that just signed on the WWA. And Gio lost. And I thought it was weird when the CEO and Gio had this. I mean, Gio was captain of the WWA, which...
that armistice between those two
yeah,
people.
you didn't think that was going to happen, huh? And yet you give him the giant C patch right there on his jersey. But Gio is now... It may not be so much for the people, but with the people backing Gio and having the crowd actually cheer his name for once, if ever, in the WWA this again ever, I think maybe it's the skeleton key that Romano didn't know he needed. And right now, I don't think he's ever been hotter, right, Bri?
Oh man,
I think he may have. You could say he caught a bug at behind enemy lines, having people cheer for him.
Yeah. I mean, I always say that, like, I wasn't a fan of Gio the first time I got into the WWA, but just he's one of those heels, man, that I love just because. And now that he's switched, right? He's getting a taste of what love is. He's more than capable of winning a match without a dirty trick. So just to see that whole shift is just, man, you love to see that.
Well, speaking of love to see, I don't think this guy is going to love to see this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a promo that is exclusively to Gio from the Havoc Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Purple himself. Anthony, if we could pop this
up. WWA Nation, you know who I am. I am Suku, the Moon God, your Havoc Heavyweight Champion. And I'm here to cut the same boring promo I do every week, where I'll talk in a low voice to where you can barely hear me. And I'm going to shit all over any competition that I may come across. I am your greatest Havoc Heavyweight Champion. I can't even fucking do this with a serious face. What a load. Just like you. Every single time I see you come out in front of the nation, it's the same fucking thing. No personality, no hype, nothing in your soul. You sit there and you hold the camera like this to cut a promo to the nation, to tell them all of the boring bullshit that goes through your brain. Suku, you ain't fun. Suku, the nation doesn't like you. They sit there and they yawn while you sit there and talk about fucking nothing. I'm not scared of Giovanni Romano. No. In fact, I was just testing him. Give me a fucking break, dog. You and your fucking moon god bullshit. It's about to be over. You see, I'm sitting here in this tournament, 6 points up, by the way. Good looking. And I'm coming straight for you. And you know what? Even if I don't win this tournament that I got stuck in, I'm coming for you anyways. Because fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your purple ass hair. Fuck your shitty title reign. How about you show me some fucking passion? That you care about that title you're holding. Fuck. All I want is some fucking passion. And I don't see it from you. And if you don't show that shit, I'm gonna stomp the yard in your body.
Well, we're back. Bri, your thoughts on Bri, your that was Romano in a well, we're not fortunately sponsored to this podcast. I can't swap to a commercial. While we control Bri, Kaz the purple mist.
And leave it to Gio to be that, just entertaining at the end of the day. But we did hear his message at the end.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to care that he's in this tournament. The only thing he wants is Suku. And just calling him out for the not having enough passion, holding that title, but not seeming like he doesn't want it. It kind of rings a little bit true. But you can clearly see that he's angry, and I guess he's going to show it the best way he can, and that's by entertaining the people.
Well, before we segue to that tournament, again, we're going to talk about the participants, your predictions. But you said, heated. He's angry. Someone else said is very angry, especially in terms of Havoc, to keep on topic. Sub-Zero Ronin. And this, Kaz, you and I talked about it. This definitely kind of a little bit. There was a little of the seeds planted in earlier on in season 4 with whoever I'm getting ready to talk about, the CEO himself. But definitely the flower bloomed and is growing immensely, especially in the past couple weeks. Kaz, will start with you here. Ronin and the CEO, a lot of jaw jacking, but this isn't just your normal trash talk. This is starting to get a little heated.
Speaking of deathmatch,
what do you expect from these two? We've seen it from CEO multiple times, whether he's on the side that the people love or the side that people love to hate. He gets intense with Mexic Kid, with BDJ, with Garthy. It was intense. And now he's aimed all that fury at Ronin, who could be just as intense. This is a dynamite keg waiting to blow. That could, honestly, have full repercussions on the WWA as a whole.
We're talking almost nuclear, right?
Normally I call that guy after some of the tough things that he's gone through in this company, right? And then the CEO did that. I didn't call him. He didn't call me. And when that guy is that mad, like hell, like hear like the quote that comes to mind with all of this: on a pale horse there sat a rider. His name was Death, and hell followed. Ronin's not afraid, The only problem that he has with authority is that it's not his authority. And now the CEO is using his power over the Iceman. I don't think the CEO is ready, to be honest.
I definitely think I agree with Kaz. I agree with both of you. I think there is a lot of alpha testosterone between those two going back and forth. But I agree with Kaz more in particular that this could have WWA repercussions. Because, again, the last time I ever saw Ronin this intense, the WWA had to sign a lights out match. This was non-sanctioned, and that was at Sue. That was at Sue's cost. I think there's no one that can be more intense than the CEO. I've seen him in season 1, what he's done to Mex, what he's done to Mex's wife, what he did to BDJ. But again, you can see it, BDJ through a flaming table, ! SL. But I really think the one with Garthy was the one where everybody turned their heads and was like, oh shit, he he does have that. We know he has a dark side, but sometimes talk is talk, and then walking the walk is two different things. And I really think that match with Garthy at WorldZY Mania was the head turner because on head, shoulders, knees, and toes, he outclassed Garthy, who was trained by Kurt Angle of all people. And now, no disrespect to Garthy, he is a historian of the WWE, one of the greatest that's ever done it. But that was a head turner for a lot of people. And I'm not saying anything's going to happen of it. Something clearly there's a means to an end by all means. I just, for the love of God, it's going to get ugly.
Everybody waits with bated breath to see what happens in the first time in recorded history when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
I hate to use such generic comparisons, but you think about back when Stone Cold challenged authority in good old Vinnie Mac. Stone Cold would always, stand on top in the end, but Vinnie Mac would always come back and make his life more and more hell. Just continuously beat him down with authority. Continuously put Stone Cold into these positions that, let's face it, it was rough. And I don't know, honestly, if Ronan's able to take the same amount of punishment.
There's an emotional toll there. I agree with you.
There is. I'm curious to see how Ronan handles it.
I do think I will put one last one last matter, and then we'll transition to the tournament, and then most importantly, the entire show, the ladies, because we have a lot to talk about there.
Yes.
We heard it from CEO. There was a kind of like a podcast here. It was a post show podcast that we do after every pay-per-view Q&A, and it doesn't matter who it was. I don't know who it was. Someone asked the CEO, "Hey, when are we going to see you perform? When are we going to see you compete?" And he flat out said, Kaz, he said, "There's no one I want to work with right now. You guys are all doing your thing." I relay this back to Garthy. Although it was a personal matter, it was an intense matter. I think the CEO is getting a little taste of the wrestling bug. He wants it. And even though this matter, like we both agreed, it kind of came from nowhere. It started earlier on in season 4, and then CEO put Ronan number 1 into the behind enemy lines. He chose him first. I think the CEO, he's an adrenaline junkie, that's for sure. I think he wants to go head first into Sub-Zero Ronan for the sole purpose of whatever that bug he had was against Garthy. I think he's starting to enjoy it. That could be a very bad thing.
I mean, they hand out adrenaline in dosage sizes, right?
Yeah,
ooh, this is nice, sir. That will kill you.
I don't know. We're just here to see what's going to unfold. That's the beauty of the WWA. You just got to be here 3 p.m. EST every single Sunday, twitch.tv/WorldZY. But the most important thing of the show, the ladies, and we're going to do a little bit of 2x2. We're going to talk about the ladies, but in particular, we are going to talk about the Glamazon Gold Cup because we are down to the final 4. The first part, we have Valencia versus Victoria, which, by the way, I never thought I'd be saying this. I really thought Amber Blackwell had Valencia last week.
It's close.
Sometimes
very close. Right?
I want to
Sorry,
lead
hold on.
this
I think I'll check something real quick.
You're good. Go ahead, Kaz.
I want to lead this first out by saying we were talking about kind of how Havoc and Breakout, comparing the two of them together.
Yeah.
You could say that Havoc is the A show, but all together, when you compare the women to the men, the women have been stepping all over the men every step of the way. Just
hands down.
So entertaining, fantastic matches all up and down the card. Just wonderful.
I think there's
all around.
Their stories is even more intriguing, which again, the story, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it here before I say it though. Maria versus Nina Rose is the bottom half of the Glamazon Gold Cup. That is the
Ooh,
semifinals. So Valencia and
both
Victoria
matches.
Townsend. Yeah.
Oh
Oh my.
man.
Oh my. But I'm gonna say it here, Kaz, while Bry is out. If I can accredit one person that is lit, Bry's already used the one, I can't say it. A bleeping fire in the women's division who has elevated all of them. Maria Constantina. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. There has been no one to
No one.
kind of no one to push the women in a long time. Probably since Nina's, I guess, reign of terror in season 3. No one got the girls more motivated in season 4 than Maria Constantina.
Talk about lighting fires and just burning bridges. I mean, she's came in here and in 2-3 months tops has won the women's IC and the women's undisputed title. And guess what? She's a rookie. She's not a
She is.
season 2 or season 3 rising star / veteran. She is a rookie. That's it. Incredible. And the one
We
person,
talk about AR Legend all the time,
yeah,
but Maria Constantina, whew,
rookie of the year for the women. I would be shocked if something else happened. Valencia is definitely holding it down right now, but in terms of accolades and continued success, Maria Constantina. But Nina Rose had a very dominant, and I mean that was Nina. She may be down a little, just a peg or two in my opinion, but that was prime time Nina Rose what we saw to Serena Tenebra. Although Serena gave it a hell of a fight. Kaz,
Serena
Nina
gave it a
Maria.
hell of a fight. Oh,
You know what? I won't even do that. Who's going to win the whole thing? Victoria,
Oh, no.
Valencia,
Oh, no.
Maria, Nina. We got to pick one.
oh no!
I got to pick one here. I'm going to go Valencia over Victoria. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I have Maria winning the whole thing.
God, how hard is this? You're asking me to pick between the top 4 right now. I would
Arguably.
presume.
Yeah.
Except maybe Serena. You could add Serena to that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the dark horse of the tournament. I'm gonna go with Victoria Townsend.
You know,
I think it's her time.
I used to wrestle amateur. I was a captain of the JV team. I was amazing. Everyone knows it. A lot of wrestlers, though, in amateur wrestling will compare via like this. It's called wrestler's math. Well, I beat this guy, but this guy beat the opponent I'm facing in 2 minutes. So if I do 1 + 1, it equals 2, 2 being that I should be able to beat the other guy. Now, Victoria and Amber tied, but Valencia beat Victoria barely. If I'm Victoria Townsend and I go off wrestler's math, that could be the upset, Kaz.
It
Could.
It very much could be. I mean, Valencia has pretty much stomped her way into the WWA from the CWL and proven why she was so dominant over on Vindication. She has absolutely proved it up and down. But if Victoria wants to make a name for herself, she could win this whole thing and finally make a name for herself.
Victoria has a hard time realizing. I think Victoria's got something psychologically that doesn't think they're good enough, which for whatever reason, everyone deals with that, Kaz. It's the circle of life. But
Do you like stories? The man you once knew is gone. There's only me left. But who am I? I am the unborn. I am the soul that the gods would never allow to be born upon this earth. But I have other means. You see, that fool Dan, the energy from his curse That infected Michael Grid. That weakened him, strengthened me, allowed me to feed off that energy and grow inside of him. You'd think the curse was broken. That curse created me.
Victoria Townsend, whether they realize it or not. Victoria is, although sometimes does not come out victorious, I don't think it's, if you lose, it's how you lose. It's how that story transpired, how it came through. And Victoria has survived with some of the best, but Victoria beat arguably the best in Brie, and I did not see that one coming. So I kind of leaning towards you. I could see it happening, but then again, I could see Alfora winning. So I don't know.
I got to tell you, how crazy is it that we can sit here and talk about two other competitors that are not Nina Rose? That's insane to me.
Let's
Nina
talk.
Rose was so dominant in season 3, and now being able to say that she has competition is crazy.
The only time Nina lost her belt was due to an injury.
Exactly.
Put that into perspective. That's an entire season. But you know what's even more? We'll talk about math. Let's just add this little thing here. 4 competitors, 3 are rookies, Kaz.
Exactly. That's probably the craziest bit out of all of it. All of them are season 4. And you know what's even doesn't Riley still have her
Yep.
Money in the Bank contract?
Yep. And
that's something we got to keep in the back of our heads.
Which I could transition to the champ, Zoe Raven. Zoe Raven won the Elimination Chamber, beat Maria Constantina. It was, the last 2 being Zoe Raven has been a great champion. Definitely people kind of looked the other way to begin with. They're wondering, hey, listen, I don't think Zoe Raven could go past Murderer's Row. But Zoe not only went through it, survived, won. And Zoe Ravens was, I believe, started the chamber too, right? Zoe and Nina were part of it. Here's the problem, and this is just, I've been here 4 seasons, so I have a little knowledge, but I've also never been a true champion either, Kaz. Brian, also welcome back in. We'll get you set up here.
Sorry, Baby Brian made a return, and she was coming out of the corner swinging that bedpan.
Oh, well, it's best to dodge him best you can.
Yeah.
Steel chair.
Jesus. The best thing I could say, though, is I think Zoe Raven is dealing with the fatal flaw that a lot of people encounter in WWA, and that is the almighty word, the distractions. Now, distractions sometimes equate to relationships. I think Zoe Raven is getting distracted by other entities, such as Amber Blackwell, which I did not even know about till of recent time. And I think that's kind of odd when I should be really focusing on who I should be looking forward to face at Last Survivor, one of those 4 ladies.
Brian, do you want to start us out?
I have a lot of thoughts about this that I need to sort through them first. You go on ahead. It's just that.
Surprised you got a lot in. Sorry.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm on my higher.
I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, go on, Kaz.
Well, Zoe Raven and Amber Blackwell, of course, have been getting into it as of late.
Yes.
And it all kind of started when Zoe Raven was also, or not Zoe Raven, Amber Blackwell was kind of targeted by Dolores.
Yeah.
Dolores targeted Amber Blackwell and then moved on to trying to challenge the champion while this whole tournament was going on. I think Amber Blackwell was distracted a little bit by Dolores. And in turn, Amber Blackwell was going to make it Zoe Raven's problem.
I think that's the both thing about it before we get to you, Bride, before I didn't mean to cut you off, but then again, I don't really care. Dolores was distracted by Amber. Amber is not really paying attention to Dolores, which I think is a huge problem. But then Zoe Raven's also focused on Amber. There is a lot of, I don't know. There's little bits of string here, little bits of string here. They're all connected to one big picture. You got to look at, I'll just run this down here real quick and then we'll go off to you, Bri. Zoe's had history with Nina Rose. Zoe's had history with Maria Constantina. That's technically unfinished. They have not had that rematch, that one-on-one. Zoe has had history with Valencia and CWL. And last but not least, Zoe has actually got pinned by Victoria Townsend. And I am not discrediting Amber Blackwell. I think Amber Blackwell is incredibly talented. But Amber Blackwell is not someone you should be focused on right now, Brian.
Like, I'd worry about one thing in front of you at the time, right? Like we said that's been said about another superstar, like Rose Wolf, right? Yeah. Focus on the task at hand before you start jumping into these other things. And
if you're really a wolf, you don't call out 18 different people all in one time, because no matter how tough you are, the wolf will get slaughtered. But yeah, that's besides the point.
One by one, knock them down like dominoes.
Yep.
And so it's what would these be considered? Hubris at this point? Hey, I'm on top of the world. Hey, I soloed the chamber, right? I started from one and ended up being the one. And after a certain point, right, you get that kind of momentum. You think you're unstoppable.
Yeah. That's a fatal flaw too.
What about you, Brian? Out of the last 4 in the Queen's tournament, if you have to pick one,
you have Valencia, Victoria, Maria, Nina. He won. We went one Maria with yours truly. Kaz's went Victoria Townsend. That's just what we went with. Now let's hear you.
I'm always going to go with my favorite girl. I think it's going to be Nina. If not Maria, definitely Nina.
It's unfortunate too, because that is the semifinal, and arguably the winner of that could be the winner of the whole thing. So, 3 different answers, but hell, they're all 4 credible opponents that we're going to see. But we're going to look to wrap things here up. I said I was going to end at 30 minutes. Turns out we're coming up to an hour, but that's typical with me. Let's start with the Grand Prix. There is a lot to talk about. No, you're absolutely right. Let's talk about the Grand Prix real quick here. Before I talk about the Grand Prix, the last thing about Zoe Raven, I think Zoe Raven's incredible. I'm not meaning to say anything negative about Zoe Raven. This is just what I do. Zoe has got to focus on one thing at a time, in my opinion. And I think
gotta prioritize those targets. You've been playing Warzone. I see you.
Because guess what? There's 100 targets, but when you have the giant weapons cache at the top of your head, or in this case, the Women's Undisputed Championship of the world, everyone's looking at you. And you have to tunnel out who you want to take out first. But again, arguably, I'd be focusing on the tournament. I'm not a champion. Grand Prix time here. There is a lot of competitors to go in. There's a lot to talk about. We won't talk about every single one of them here. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to talk about the standings and future things and who do you think is going to win the whole thing here. So right now,
did you see the ghost?
There's a ghost of baby Bri. I don't see it actually. Is there a ghost of baby Bri? There it's real.
I'm the fourth member of the announcer for Horseman.
Oh yes.
Baby Bri.
Hit the 4. I'll hold the 4.
I thought it was.
Hold the 4. There it is. Santa, hold the 4.
Baby, hold the 4.
He only has 4 fingers. It works.
Too busy dancing over there. Right now again, this is a little bit different because the brackets have not been fully updated, and we took the weekend off. So right now we have Giovanni Romano is up there. King Blackheart. Well, I don't know about King Blackheart's situation. Frost's Heroes, EFED, GCW, Christopher Tremont, and the Chat for Finance situation. That was definitely an interesting time. But and on the Havoc side of things, you've got AR Legend, Garthy, Gamer Domain that was holding it down. I mean, big stuff here in the future. And it's going to be so hard to choose. But if you're going to have to give a winner from a Y block and the Z block, so Y is going to be Breakout, Z is obviously Havoc. I think someone who is looking to be unstoppable is Giovanni Romano. Kaz, it's your show. Let's say you.
for the Havoc side of things.
Yeah.
Giovanni Romano is looking strong, but I think he's going to be too distracted looking at the champion. He's not going to see the people coming behind him. As much as I want to give it to Evil Dead or to King Blackheart, I think the same thing. I think they're going to be too distracted. I'm giving it to G Maestro.
That's a
G Maestro. Bold
I-
pick.
That's a bold pick. I agree. I think Gio though is. I think Sue's going to try everything to stop Romano for winning. I really do. We saw that in week 1, and although CEO kind of put his foot down and was like, "Hey, no more of it." Sue is he's that annoying kid with a stick. He just doesn't let up.
And
I'm
Gio's the
picking
wrong.
I'm picking G right now. Chris Tremont also intrigues me so much.
That was a hell of a match. Hell of a
Hell
match.
of a match.
Fry the Y block here. We have big names. We have Asher Callahan, Jonathan Slade, Gamer Domain, AR Legend, Garthy. I mean, the unknown. I think this is harder to choose who's going to win.
They're all like
Incredible.
insanely like turned up the
Incredible.
heat, right? Havoc has turned it up and dialing up the intensity, and Breakout's like, all right, bet, let's do this. And we've got this incredible, like, man, like, who I would want to go and represent Breakout. Or like to take the whole Grand Prix.
Let's just start. Let's just go with what we're thinking in terms of Breakout right now.
I think in terms of Breakout, I think Unknown is gonna.
Wow.
I would either pick Unknown because I can't pick between anybody else. Like I think my pick is definitely like a pretty dark horse, if you ask me. Slade is insanity. Like, he's done well, but he's still on a sort of, he doesn't have the momentum that he needs right now. So I have to give it to Unknown, and he's just gonna stomp and throw everything out of the way if he can.
As I really thought he just said Jonathan Slade. I don't know if my ears were he went dark horse to Jonathan Slade too there. Whoa.
Can I tell you who my pick would have been?
Oh.
Yeah.
John Slade, baby, all the way, 100%. I think Jonathan Slade has picked it up so much. He's not doing too hot in the tournament right now. Give him the round robin. I guarantee you John Slade's going to come out victorious at the end. If not AR Legend.
This is harder because you're talking about who was my favorite, Garthy, who is now becoming my favorite in AR Legend, who is now becoming my favorite in Gamer Domain. Like, you flip a coin? I can't do that. I don't know what to choose. If I have to choose one based on performance thus far, oh man, you know what? Listen, if AR Legend,
that's been your guy, man.
He's been my guy, but he's choked on big time moments. Perfect example is Garthy versus Hanzo versus AR Legend at Legacy. And then he lost to get into the big time, the Elimination Chamber Bound by Blood. So far, AR Legend's doing great, but this is a big moment. Someone who does not get, just brought down by the butterflies is someone like Garthy.
There's so many in this tournament.
It's stacked. But if you can only pick one now, let's make it difficult here. Let's end on a high. Pick one to win the whole thing.
See, this is what I was prepared to talk about.
Then you go ahead and start. I'm thinking.
Giovanni Romano. While he may not be aware of things in the rearview mirror, when you're going 100 miles an hour,
the brakes aren't working either.
What's to worry about behind you? Worry about what's in front of you, and what's in front of him. The only thing that he cares about is Suku. Now, I'll admit, maybe by having such a broad goal like that, it'll cost him in the end, right? As Evan just put it, there's no brakes on that car either.
I'm telling you, when I'm back home in Clearwater and Mrs. WorldZY says, "Hey, let's go to Disney World tomorrow." I don't stop. I'm bobbing and weaving through traffic. I'm going 100 miles an hour. We're locked in, right? There's no stopping. I don't care like what's in front of me, the cars, the traffic, anything. The only thing I'm looking forward to is seeing the big castle and Mickey Mouse. I think Giovanni Romano does not care who is in front of him, what is around him. All he cares about seeing is the big castle, and the big castle is Suku. So I cannot believe I'm doing this twice. I agree with you, Bri.
I think same show.
I know.
Same show, no less.
I think Romano is just.
Baby Brian, he likes daddy.
I don't know how you.
Does.
The only way, if you have no brakes and the car's going so fast, the only thing Sue's got to do is hit him with the freight train. And again, that could happen. It could. I don't know how, but it could. So I am curious to see what's going to go there. But the last one leads you, Jolly Saint Nick. What? 16 competitors. One's winning the Grand Prix. Let's say you.
You know, I do love Jonathan Slade, but I don't think I'd pick him as my GOAT. And as much as you two think, you know, you put up a great argument, I still think Giovanni is going to end up running into King Blackheart or Chad, and that's going to be the brakes. That's the wall that he runs into in that 100-mile-per-hour car. As far as the whole tournament goes, man, picking between AR Legend and Gamer Domain is a tough call, but I'm gonna have to go with AR Legend.
Ooh, if I had to pick like between those two, yeah, I agree. AR Legend, he may have choked on some big moments, but it's all about tempo. It's all about timing.
That's the only reason I didn't pick him. That's why I picked Gio, because AR Legend has not proven to me yet he can get in the big time moments.
But then I look at Unknown and how great he's been lately.
But then I look at Gamer Domain. But then I look at Garthy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
you know what?
Like, this isn't fair. This is not. There's no way you can, like, we have our picks because insert reason X, Y, Z, right? But that's what it's come down to. These smaller details. That's how great this it's the second Grand Prix. How does this get better?
If I had to pick someone to go all the way, I think I'm going to pick Unknown.
Damn. I believe it too. I can see it too.
Who did he beat first in the Grand? Or who is he beat?
He was in the first Grand Prix, and he was second. As a matter of fact, he came in or third place. I'm sorry, he was one off from King Blackheart, and Nino actually won the whole thing via 1 point. It was an incredible Grand Prix.
The reason Blackheart didn't have as many points as Nino or beat Nino in points was because he lost to the Unknown in the first round of matchups.
And Nino also lost to the Unknown later on throughout that Grand Prix too, which again,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Now that the Crow's not in it, Unknown could definitely flourish.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you guys think in the comments too. What you're thinking about the stories, who's going to win the Grand Prix. If you guys agree with us, if you don't if you disagree with us, that's the beauty of the WWA. Everyone has their own opinion, and that's what makes this thing so special. But wrapping up right now, going to a close. We are now coming in at the back half of this show. We have Last Survivor, which for those of you that do not know, in terms of what it is just like a Royal Rumble, but there's a twist, as all things WWA is. We have one more mini clash, and then we have the granddaddy of them all, WorldZY Mania 1, 2, 3, 4. Going into it right now, I'm going to hit you guys with something I've had. I have not told them about this. It is something I'm looking to share with you guys. WorldZY Mania 4 is coming up right now, and we are going to play a little game, boys and baby Bri. Keeping the champions as is. Lethal Wire and Suku are champions at WorldZY Mania 4.
Okay. Okay.
Who are their opponents? I'm starting off with Bry. Because I'm going off your show. We're going to start with Lethal Wire. Lethal Wire right now, let's say he's moving and grooving. Things are going well, whatever it may be. Maybe the Marcus Kane paid off more dividends than we thought. Here he is at the granddaddy of all as a rookie defending the biggest platform. Who is looking to take him down? There is so much talent out there. Who are you seeing right now on the poster?
On the poster, because of how insane it's been. And it just seems season 4 is about the rookies. Lethal's going to be staring across the ring at the man who helped him keep it until Mania.
Wow, really?
I think that these rookies, right? Like they live young, they live fast, die young, and that's been their approach, just going forward.
I see that.
Marcus Kane is an opportunist, right? He could have just left Lethal and Nino all well alone, but like you said earlier, he found ways to I've got to figure out ways to maintain relevancy. I feel like I'm slipping. Okay, I'll climb over everybody else.
I'm curious in Bry's story where Nino falls in, or where the unknown. Like that's what I like about this question. What could have been, what would have been. So you see at the main event, the poster, Marcus Kane, Lethal Wire. That's what you're going with?
I mean, yeah, now when you put it like that, now it sounds like what have
No.
No, so where Nino fits in all of this, I can't imagine that wherever Lethal goes up against Nino, Marcus isn't that far behind. Maybe he tries to put him out longer because he's like, if you're holding the title, if you beat Lethal for this, I don't have a chance in hell of taking it off the Crow.
Kaz, I let you simmer. I love putting Bry on the spot because I don't like Brian. Kaz, is Suku is hotter than ever. The guy is doing things that only a snake would do. Slither his way to the top. Who is going to stomp on the snake?
I'll tell you who's going to stomp on the snake, and that is the winner of the last Survivor Rumble, Nino.
Nino's going to choose to go take Sue.
I believe so.
And that is the rule, ladies and gentlemen, for Last Survivor. If you guys do not know, the winner, although maybe on opposing brands, can choose the title they want. So yeah.
If we have to assume, because the if I'm not mistaken, the semifinals and the finals of the ZY tournament are fought on the Last Survivor pay-per-view, correct?
So far, how the Grand Prix is looking, we would like to have the winner of the whole shebang fight at the Last Survivor, whoever the champion is. So let's say AR Legend wins the whole thing. He would take on Lethal Wire at the Last Survivor. So go from there. Again, just I'm putting into people's heads how that turns out. But although it is a 7-round bracket, it's a 7-round round robin. If, let's say, in last place, I'm not even going to say who's in last place. Whoever's in last place of each one still doesn't look like they have a shot at all. Matches are going to be dropped off. That is not going to be. We are going to try whatever it takes to get them there. And we don't know this. This is take it with a very grain of salt. But something is going to happen at the 5th round of the tournament that is going to shake up the Grand Prix for both the Z and the Y block. And it is something.
Well, here, announcer man. That sounds a little ominous. Hey, shush.
The best way I can put it, you want to get in the top 4. Because let's say there's something else.
Because I'm assuming that the semifinalists are not going to be in the Last Survivor Rumble.
Ooh.
No.
That's what I'm assuming.
Nope. They'll still have a shot.
They will still have a shot. See, that changes things up a lot, but as I'm seeing things now, Nino.
Yeah.
wins that and goes on to Mania to face Suku.
I
agree, baby Bri.
yes, I think that's a great choice, Baby Bride, but I'm gonna disagree with you here. Bri, I listen, you and I have been clicking and that doesn't happen ever.
Huh?
I would love nothing more to see Romano stomp on that snake at the granddaddy. I want to see it bad. I don't think it will get there. That's the problem. I think these two are looking to kill each other in a hurry, but I want to see it happen. And if it can get there, it can get there. If it can't, it can't. I'm still going to pay my money to go see that matchup. I would love nothing more than Romano not only get what he deserves, meaning the big title, the big gold, but gets retribution on Suku.
Ooh, nothing more sweeter than retribution on the granddaddy of them all.
That is really what I see, but that leaves us with one. The ladies. Zoe Raven has it. Zoe Raven continues to keep it till WorldZY Mania 4. I will start because I like to throw curveballs and I want to see it. I want to see Serena Tenebra have a rematch against Zoe Raven at WorldZY Mania 4.
For the big title?
Zoe debuted taking out Serena Tenebra and had her debut match.
Right.
They had their debut match at WorldZY Mania 3. I would love to see that come full circle.
I was going to say, you've taken the words exactly out of my mouth. I can see
I forgot Serena, about that, honestly.
Yep.
Serena challenging. Actually, it doesn't matter who the champion is there. I think Serena's making it to WorldZY Mania one way or another for that title.
Yeah. Agreed.
Agreed. I forgot.
It could be Nina. It could be Brie. It could be Victoria Townsend. It could be Valencia. I think Serena Tenebra has shown so much as of late. She's going to end up at WorldZY Mania for that title, one way or another.
Did we just all three agree on something?
I think so.
Somebody buy a Powerball ticket.
Jesus.
Right now.
Let's talk about ending on a high. That's the perfect way to do it. Hell.
Did you guys get into my stash again?
Nope. That's poor choice of words. Well, WWA Nation, you guys heard it from us. What do you guys think about the first half of season 4? It's off to a wonderful start, but I feel like if you guys don't have your seatbelt on, it's only going to get worse, and meaning worse is in more intense. Bri, any final things here to say to the WWA Nation, to the CEO, to the locker room? Any final thoughts before we head back in? Obviously, we're off this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Man, it's been fun. I can't wait to see what the second half of season 4 brings. Can't wait for that finale. And if you guys had to pick my best Bri faces, which ones would you have in The Last Survivor? I'll tweet it out on my social media, twitter.com/geeked out running 808.
Kaz, please, Kaz, just send us home with some good thoughts.
Well, I have no good thoughts.
Oh.
I've been ordered to give you another cease and desist letter from my boss.
Christ, already.
I was wondering when you were going to serve him. I saw him come into the.
Look, I tried to serve him the first one out of goodwill. He threw it in the trash.
Ooh, that's a crime right there.
Look, there he goes. Look at that. What a spoiled sport. You know.
Hey,
Chris,
Kaz, which Bri face was your favorite?
We'll see you in the next one. Take forever.
Brian.